Hello and welcome back to Nerddom. My name is Matt, and today I'm actually kind of excited to talk to you about the new Penguin show. Now, those of you that don't know, this is a follow-up to the 2022 movie The Batman with Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz. Now, at the time, I thought the movie was really good. I thought it was definitely a return to form again for Batman, even though we already had The Dark Knight, but The Dark Knight ended like 10 years ago. It was around 2012, right? 2012, 2013? I could be wrong. 2011? Might be 2011. Time flies by. But this was another new take on the Batman starring Robert Pattinson. And in this one, we definitely had more of an emo Bruce Wayne, more of a Bruce Wayne Batman who doesn't have the mask of Bruce Wayne, the Playboy, as of yet. That was one of my largest gripes with that movie, was that the Bruce Wayne wasn't that way. It was more so My Chemical Romance, Bruce Wayne. And the first 15 minutes of that movie is absolutely phenomenal. The music by Michael Giacchino, the cinematography by Greg Fraser. And if you know anything about me, I love Greg Fraser. And the straight brutality that this Batman put onto this Joker group, it felt really cool. The presence of like the fear that he was putting onto these criminals, just having the signal in the sky was enough to drive them away. That vibe, that ambiance, that fear is something that we really haven't seen like that before in live action, and I was digging it. I was digging it so much. And then we went into the Riddler and his serial killerness and the Seven influence of it all, which I again freaking loved. I thought we could push it maybe a little bit further. And then at some point, there's kind of a weird turn where the Riddler becomes this like incel influencer kind of thing. And then he has like this really big cult following who then attacks the Gotham Square Garden, and then they blow up the seawall and there's a huge flood on downtown basically. That part I wasn't the most thrilled on. I thought the serial killerness should have gone maybe a little bit more long, and that should have been the main play. I understand why these superhero movies really need, or want really, I don't think they really need it. They want a big third act sequence, action sequence or something like that. And that's kind of what this was. That's just not the way that I would have taken the story. The Joker cameo at the end was pretty cool too. And they had a really cool deleted scene with the Joker actor as well that was released. Not sure if that is canon anymore, but supposedly he's going to be coming back in the sequel. Now in the movie, the big surprise from everybody was definitely Colin Farrell's Penguin. It was totally transformative. This, I couldn't tell it was him. The prosthetics, the accent, the look and feel of it all, he did an amazing job. So much so that he now has a spin-off show on Max called The Penguin. I'm not sure if it's on HBO as well, it might be. And again, this is supposed to be the bridge between The Batman and Batman 2. It's supposed to be this series and showing how the crime families deal with the fallout of Carmine Falcone's death. What does his crime network do? What do his children do? And that's what this show is about. And also possibly the rise of Penguin as a crime lord of Gotham. And we're going to go full spoilers from here on out, so beware. And if you like what I do, feel free to subscribe. Also, feel free to smash the like button. It really does help the channel get pushed out to new people. Without further ado, let's get into The Penguin with Colin Farrell.
You know, Oz, people underestimate you, but not me. I've always known you were capable of more.
First off, I really do love the recap from the Batman movie that's playing here. Totally keeps like a Batman comic where there's newscasters, of course, telling you what's happening. And it's short. It's short enough to get you to exactly where you need to be. And the shot too of the Penguin looking out into the city from his club apartment, really, it puts you back into that Batman universe. The cinematography is so close to Greg Fraser. Might be him. I don't know. And then we get into the first scene that this show really does, well, show you what it's going to be. And it's going to be a crime lord, crime story. I'm not sure if police are going to be involved. I'm sure they will be at some point. but it really does feel like a Sopranos, which is kind of funny because I've seen a couple of comparisons with Tony Soprano and this version of the Penguin with Colin Farrell. And again, Colin Farrell is transformative. Don't even tell it's him. I really do full on believe that it's this Penguin character. Not only do they show you him, his abnormality, his full naked body and what he actually appears like, the way he walks, the pain and effort that he goes through to do anything. But at the same time, he is strong. He's able to throw a dude onto his shoulder and then toss the guy down the staircase. It takes a good amount of strength to do that, especially with dead weight. But you get really good character moments. You get good character moments with the Penguin, or I should call him Oswald's Oz. You get a good character moment with Oz's mother. You know, she does have some mental disorder of some type, but you can tell how this character came from her and is in this world and started in this world. The other really cool part that I liked that shows you his character is you actually see him take his shoe and boot off, and you see his clubbed foot. You see what kind of pain he goes through there. But there's a scene where he goes into the subway train and there are 2 handicap seats available. And they make sure to show you that he knows those handicap seats are there and they're vacant. And he is in pain, but he does not sit. So this is either he uses the pain as strength, or he doesn't want to look weak. Which is interesting because he does kind of look like the little man in front of the big bosses of the crime families, but at the same time he does that on purpose so that way they kind of don't suspect him moving behind them, moving around them. He makes himself small to kind of seem unnoticed. And this was brought up by Alberto, who talks about how he just takes a couple of cents off of every dollar, and Carmine didn't really mind because, hey, good on you, I guess, if you're ballsy enough to rip me off, but it's not too much to make a dent. It's just enough to make a living off of for you to make a living. And that first scene is just really cool. It really does show you, again, who this Oswald Cobblepot is. He was raised in a different part of Gotham where they had small-time gangsters, mobsters, who helped out the community but were beloved. And it's almost like he kind of wants that to be him. He wants to be beloved. And Alberto kind of calls him out on it. He's like, that's your dream. That's what you want to be. And then he insults him. He laughs at him. He belittles him purposefully. And that's when Oswald says, I've had enough, and he blasts him. And this is a huge setup for the entire show. Everything is going to be built around this action, and there's a couple of things that come out from it. First off is the blackmail material that he was able to get from Carmine's safe in the apartment. The second is the necklace that Alberto gives him, and he then gives it to his mother. Third, of course, we saw what happens with the ring from Salvatore Maroni. He's able to give that back to Maroni, which can help him with the Maroni crime family, but then also might be setting him up with the Falcones. And then, of course, the final act of the setup with the Maronis basically taking the fall for Alberto's murder. And this action is, of course, helped out from the Penguin's best friend, protege, first henchman, Victor. Now, Victor is a small-time criminal. He is stealing the rims off of Oswald's car in the very beginning, and under threat of murder, he reluctantly becomes a co-worker of Penguin, and he's basically says that if you rat me out, you're just as much in trouble as I am. And of course, he kind of does threaten to kill him, but I think the Penguin, or Oswald, I don't know what you should call him. Is Penguin kind of degrading? I think Oswald is turning him into a believer. He's turning him into the first of his henchmen. He's turning him into somebody that he can trust. And he knows that he can't do that from threat of violence only. So he is able to humanize himself. He's able to relate to Victor in many ways. He was, raised poor. He was raised so that the mob needed to help him and his family. And he was raised in nearly the same neighborhood as Victor many years ago. So they have that connection, sort of, and they make a good point showing you that the lower side, the lower end poorer side of Gotham was flooded from the seawalls being destroyed in the Batman movie, but the rich heads, they were not afflicted at all. Sound familiar? And you actually see the crime families living in luxury when Oswald and Victor pull up, and you see a couple of the mob heads there. By the way, really cool seeing Perconte from Band of Brothers. Shout out, dude. You look really good with the salt and pepper and the beard. Just gonna say that. And then you have Michael Kelly, who I think was in House of Cards and a bunch of other stuff. So he's super solid. And Oswald actually has dirt on him on his character. So that's going to be definitely coming up in the show. It's kind of like Chekhov's gun. The reason why we're showing you all of these different things is we are setting up the dominoes, and all it's going to take is a couple of things to push, and then all the dominoes are going to fall from there. The first scene with Michael Zegan playing Alberto was awesome. I really liked him in Marvelous Miss Maisel, and I'm really glad to see him in something new. Of course, he's still got the same New York accent, but it's so damn good. And he's only in there for a short amount of time, unfortunately, but I'm sure we're going to see him again in the future. But such a good scene. I love that first scene so much, of like the privileged, drug-addled dude versus the guy Oswald who is just clawing his way to anything, basically. And all this, of course, sets up the return of Sophia Falcone, who is played by Kristen Milotti. I really do like this actress. I've seen her in a couple of things. One was the HBO show Made for Love, which I didn't actually finish. And then the second one was the movie Palm Springs. I thought she was really good in both. Supposedly she was in How I Met Your Mother. I guess she's the mother. I don't know. I never watched that show. But in here, she explains that Sophia herself has just got out of Arkham. She was released. Now, was she really released? We don't know yet. And she is playing the character. She's a really big question mark. She's playing her mysteriously but threatening. She's kind of scary. She has this weird stare that's almost like she's staring through Oswald, and she can see right through him. She knows that something is definitely up. The scene with her and Oswald eating lunch, I think it was lunch, is really showing again. She went through a lot at Arkham, and she explains that later when she's torturing Oswald, which, by the way, a piano wire under the arm, holy crap, I can't imagine what that would feel like. If you have a tattoo in your armpit, it's probably the same thing, if not worse. But she's playing the character so well. She's so threatening. She's not afraid to get her hands dirty, as you can see as she pops that teenager right in the head. It's kind of cool. She said that the actress said that she always wanted to play like a superhero villain, so this is really her chance to do so. And what a better way than to play like a homicidal, dangerous woman who looks like she got her hands dirty already in the past, and that's a reason why she's in Arkham. She talks about how she did it for the family. But does she fall for the play of the Maronis killing her brother? That's what I'm really curious about. You know, Victor scratched in payback into the trunk of the car with Alberto's body, with the pinky finger missing and the ring missing. Everybody knows that they had the Maroni ring. They owned it. So is she gonna fall for that, or is she... I guess she releases Oswald. So she releases Oswald, and he is now free to make his play with the Maroni family. The Maronis are going to take credit for it because they kind of have to. And are we going to see then an all-out war with these two families and him kind of playing double agent for a little bit, like he mentions? So overall, a lot of great character work, a lot of great story work here, a lot of great question marks, and Chekhov's guns being brought in, being set up. The cinematography is really well done too. There's the beginning shot showing the city of Gotham, and then we pan down with the subway crossing, and then we get into the alleyway. Matches perfectly with the high budget movie. So the production value is here. The sets look amazing. The Maserati is dripping. The acting is all well done so far. And we can talk about this, but it is an unfair comparison really to have this DC versus Marvel war right here, right now. They're doing two different things. One's going for, you know, Agatha. I don't even want to bring it up, but it's like 90s vibes. This one is a dead serious crime drama. And that's something that HBO can definitely pull off, is a crime drama. Hello, Sopranos. I'm not even going to talk about the ending. So where is this story going to go? What are we going to see this season? Definitely going to find that out. And so far, I'm on board. I'm really on board. I think this is a definitely more serious, adult, mature take on the crime families versus something like Gotham that turned into something completely different later on. But that's basically it. I can't wait to see the next episode. I had a blast with it. Right up my alley. This stuff's right up my alley. That's basically it. Let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on the Penguin show. Are the actors killing it? Are the sets amazing? That kind of thing. Are you enjoying the set pieces? Are you enjoying the story so far? Let me know. And as always, if you liked the video, feel free to subscribe. Also, feel free to smash the like button. Again, helps the channel get pushed out to new people, new friends. Until next time, thank you so much, and we'll see you later.